Buried deep beneath the earth lies a thick black liquid that, by itself, is almost useless. Pour crude oil straight into your car, and you'll destroy the engine. Try to turn it directly into plastic, and nothing happens. Yet somehow, this same sludge becomes gasoline, jet fuel, diesel, asphalt, plastics, and thousands of products modern life depends on. So how can one dirty liquid be transformed into so many completely different materials? The answer lies inside one of the most remarkable engineering systems ever built, a refinery where heat, pressure, and precision separate crude oil into the building blocks of the modern world. And it all begins with fire. If you're fascinated by the hidden science and engineering behind the everyday world, you're going to love IDEON. Every day, we uncover the incredible stories behind the inventions, materials, and technologies that quietly shape our lives. So subscribe, and let's step inside one of the most extraordinary industrial processes ever created. In 1859, a man named Edwin Drake drilled into the ground in Titusville and struck something nobody fully understood yet. Back then, nobody wanted gasoline. They wanted kerosene for lamps. Refiners heated crude in crude stills, skimmed off what burned cleanly, and threw the rest away. Then Henry Ford changed everything. The Model T rolled off the line, and suddenly the world needed gasoline by the millions of gallons. What used to be waste became the most valuable liquid on Earth. Refining had to evolve, fast. Here's what almost nobody realizes. Crude oil isn't one substance. It's hundreds of different hydrocarbon molecules tangled together. Some light enough to evaporate in your hand, others thick enough to pave a highway. To separate them, refineries heat crude oil past 400 degrees Celsius until it turns to vapor. That vapor rises into a distillation column, a steel tower over 30 meters tall. And this is where physics takes control. Every hydrocarbon has a different boiling point. Light molecules climb higher before they cool and condense. Heavy ones give up early and settle near the bottom. Gas at the top, gasoline below it. Then kerosene, diesel, and thick residue at the base. But separating oil isn't the same as solving the problem, because crude oil is naturally packed with heavy, sluggish molecules, and the world doesn't want heavy. The world wants gasoline. So engineers do something almost violent. They break the oil apart. It's called cracking. Heavy hydrocarbon chains are blasted with heat, pressure, and catalyst powder until they shatter into smaller, lighter molecules. One version, fluid catalytic cracking, can turn sluggish leftover oil into a flood of usable gasoline. Another, hydrocracking, forces hydrogen into the mix to strip out sulfur and boost quality. Without cracking, gasoline supply would collapse. There simply wouldn't be enough. But breaking molecules apart isn't always the fix. Sometimes they need to be rebuilt. Naphtha, for instance, is nearly useless in its raw shape. So refiners reshape it, reforming straight hydrocarbon chains into ring-shaped structures that burn far more smoothly inside an engine. This single step is what gives fuel its octane rating. The difference between an engine running clean and an engine knocking itself apart. Then comes the part almost nobody thinks about: poison removal. Crude oil is loaded with sulfur. Burn it unchecked, and it becomes sulfur dioxide, a chemical tied directly to acid rain and toxic air. So before any fuel reaches a fuel tank, hydrogen is forced through it, ripping sulfur out atom by atom. Modern regulations demand fuel this clean. Some countries allow barely 10 parts per million of sulfur. That's not a suggestion. That's the line between clean air and industrial poison drifting over cities. Even now, the fuel still isn't finished. Gasoline isn't one clean stream. It's a blend. Cracked gasoline, reformed gasoline, additives, all mixed with surgical precision. Refiners even change the formula between summer and winter to control how fast it evaporates. One wrong ratio, and an engine misfires in the cold or overheats in July. And what about the leftovers? The thick sludge too heavy for any of this. Nothing is thrown away. It's processed again into petroleum coke or transformed into the asphalt beneath your tires right now. So the next time you pull into a gas station, understand what you're actually witnessing. Not simple fuel. The final result of a controlled high-temperature war. Oil boiled, shattered, rebuilt, purified, and blended inside a machine the size of a small city, running non-stop every hour of every day. A thick, worthless liquid pulled from beneath the ground, forced through fire and chemistry until it becomes the very thing modern civilization cannot survive without.